Not many artists can make a living off just being an artist. That's why most of them have side jobs. And although being an artist can be fun, it's also a lot of work, and you need to have specific skills as well to complex than most people think. Art is something that can be defined in many ways. It is something made by humans to affect other feelings, and everyday art is all around us. Everyone has been impacted by art somehow. Most everyone has as a program. Grew up surrounded from elementary school kids just starting to draw and create their own images, to high schooler students for their art, culture, and history. Ever since I was little, I loved to draw. So one day my mom brought me to Bert Dotson's studio. That's what I wanted to do. So when we were asked to interview someone in our profession, I thought of him immediately. It felt like to the and asked him about his able to act. Having traveled around the world since I was a little kid, I have been exposed to different kinds of art in different cultures. Art is something that you need a lot of skills for. However, you need Watson, artist and illustrator, and from the information he has given me, I will tell you how communication and presentations in his profession. To start off, I will explain what Bert Dotson uses communication. Uses the most is email. He uses it to get in touch with authors, publishers, clients, and his assistant. He needs to keep in touch his help with illustrations for any upcoming books. And if he's asked to do illustrations for a book, he helps it get published by contacting different market. Right now, he goes to a publisher in Piermont, New Hampshire. He supplies them with about a book a year. He says it's published. It's just luck. If there's a client that wants him to do a painting for them, he uses email to ask them specific questions about exactly him keep in touch so he can figure out what his budget for the painting will be and accept it or decline it. He also uses the internet as a tool of communication. He has an internet website that so he can their viewers. He encourages them to leave feedback about his art. He tries to use technology, but it's the wrong suit. Since most of his art is hands-on, he doesn't have to use much. But he did recommend a few websites that he likes to post along. Talk about communication. His communication to persuade his customers, new people he meets, his students, and most of all, on himself. Bert uses persuasive communication to new people he meets on the phone. He always tries to slip in information about his studio and his art. Then he gives them an invitation to stop by his studio and is persuaded. He doesn't like uses persuasive communication on his customers. If he makes a piece of art that he especially likes, he will try to get them to buy it over the other piece. He likes to himself. He says, "In my field of work, it feels better when someone buys a piece without you having to sell it to them." Students. When his students felt like giving up, he would use persuasion to keep them going. Another way he needed persuasion, students says practice is a big aspect to drawing. If you don't practice, it's hard to get better. Many one mostly, but some big groups. Although recently he hasn't been doing enough. He also uses communication to persuade himself. He has been diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Symptoms are starting with art. He tells himself constantly to never give up and wants to keep painting for the rest of his life. Symptoms he has are shaky hands. But my uncle also has Parkinson's disease and is going to get a lot better, and I hope he. Finally, we'll discuss how he uses presentations. Bert uses different types of presentations to display his artwork. Bert says the main to people is he's illustrated. He has sold over 50 books and illustrated over 80 books. The second way he presents his art to people is through an internet site. He has over 30 pictures and he's his favorites that are unfortunately not for sale in his studio. Although selling books is the best way to present his art, the second best way, and the way he likes better, people come at his studio. He has 2 studios right next to each other in the middle of Bradford, Vermont. There's over 300 pictures in the studio. He says the only downside is to find value clearly, because when friends come in, he's more likely to sell them for less. But with other clients around, he can't do that. He's presentations at high schools. He said he liked how it gave him a chance to display his art to a group that normally doesn't think of art he likes to inspire. It also gave him a chance to teach them, so they could ask someone who actually knew the answer to the artist for a living. It also made him feel good when they asked questions, because it let him know that they were interested in him and what he had to say. Besides all that, he also has a book stand in the local 5 and 10 in Bradford, Vermont. Since this is a small town, he knows a lot of people, and everyone is very proud of the work he's done. So when he asked the local 5 and 10 to display some of his books, they jumped right on it. Ever since then, they've been displaying his books there. It really helps him a lot. In conclusion, Bert Dotson is an amazing artist who uses communication technologies, persuasion, and presentations to both gain and keep in contact with customers. Although he has Parkinson's disease, he wants to keep painting, and just that alone inspires me.